Hello and welcome back to the channel. Terrible drive, stuck behind a tree. In today's episode, we're going to go over all things patent pending and how we can fix it and make it good. Let's go sling some D. The patent pending is very difficult for a lot of people because of the change in position. It changes our balance and how our body works. So our first little tip or trick is when we are doing our patent pending, we release it out a little bit more than we normally would. You also want to keep it nice and smooth. A lot of times we try to get out of trouble by throwing the disc harder. That's going to relate to us grip locking and throwing it off a tree, which is not good for our score. Remember, we've already started by making a bad shot, so we don't want any hero shots. We want to get back in the fairway. If you can get a putt, great. If not, just get yourself out of trouble into a nice open area. This position of balance is difficult for a lot of people. So we're going to show you a couple drills and exercises so we can keep this base nice and firm. Another trick we want to do when we throw our patent pending is keeping our disc on a line where we want to throw it. We talked about throwing it out a little bit, but we also want to make sure we're not using the stretch and lack of mobility to make sure our disc goes here, because then we'll throw it straight out that way, or too far there, because then it will end up in the tree nice and straight towards our target. So we hopefully can do that and get ourselves a putt. 3 tips with our lower half that I forgot to mention. The first one with our back leg, when we step out, we want to have it on our forefoot, which is where our big toe is and our big toe knuckle. We want to have all 3 of those pieces of the foot on the ground nice and firm. With our front foot, we want to have the 3 points of our foot firmly on the ground. We also want to keep a very firm leg whenever we're throwing through, especially if we want to have any sort of distance or you have like a longer throw you need to make. Getting that strong brace, just like we regularly would, is very important. That's easier said than done. So let's start working on a couple of drills so we can get those lines correct and you get used to throwing great patent pending shots. All right, the goal of our first drill is just to get used to throwing out and straight towards a basket, well in that straddle position. We're going to take the balanced and lower body out of it. So we're just going to kneel down on the ground, have a basket or some sort of target in front of us. I started using a field goal goalpost for this, but no one's on the course today, so I'm going to use a basket. And we're just going to get used to throwing it nice and smooth, straight right at the basket, just to get us out of trouble. Okay, and what we don't want is grip lock, like that. Make sure we get a nice reach back and a nice release that's out, not towards this tree. I'm almost aiming towards that little first palm tree right there. There we go. Once you feel comfortable and smooth with that drill, of course, we can add the stand-up version. I like to do a little bit different version of the stand-up version that I'll show you right now. Next drill I'll do to help out my patent pendings is using the edge of the tee box as my guide. I'm going to get on my knee and just run the disc on the edge of the tee box to get my release point. Nice and smooth. There's a good one there. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get up so we can work on that balance. Try one where I'm smooth. Again, just following the edge of the tee box. There we go. Typically when you can throw it dead straight, it'll get you out of trouble. Okay, another concern could be if we're up against an object, we don't want to get in our patent pending, follow through and hit our hand. I wish I had a tree that was a better example, but this is kind of a fluffy one, so I'm not going to hurt my hand on this, but you get the idea. Instead of our traditional patent pending where we can get our big follow through, okay, we can put our heel up against our mini, take a step back, and now we have an anhyzer available here, and your throw will stop right about here. It will take the worry of hitting a tree out of the equation. Let's give it a try here. Again, I was able to give myself a putt there. You can also do a drill where we have to work ourselves around some trees with an anhyzer by just working on our anhyzer angle. One of the best ways I've learned was just turning my car key on. I know most of us have buttons, but we're just turning our thumb to the side here, and then we give ourselves a nice release out, and that should be a pretty good putt there. Now we can also struggle with our patent pending due to physical limitations. Our hips might not be flexible and mobile enough. and we might not have the strength, balance, and athleticism to hold that position. Keep yourself steady and make a good throw. So we're going to jump in the gym. I'm going to show you some exercises to help those out. All right, let's start with some flexibility with a little hip flexor stretch. One of the biggest things here is we want to make sure our hips are in the proper position. We want to turn them forward instead of having them tilting back. Then we're going to have both legs at a 90-degree angle, and we're going to lean forward a little bit. You should feel this in your hips and all in your quad. We don't want to get our knee over our toe. Going to move to a front view just so you can see the stretch again, making sure my hips are in the proper position. Just a little bit of a lean. If we want to add a little bit of our psoas stretching here, put our hand inside our thigh and reach up. You'll really feel this all through your rib cage and in your leg as well. Next, we're going to move to some strength and balance together. We've got a little lunge hold here. Nice little isometric exercise. This is where we should start just to make sure we have the proper balance. Then we can move into a front lunge. Front lunge and back lunge are very similar. Front lunge is going to work more of their quadricep and the areas we need to work on for our patent pending. Back lunge is going to work more of our posterior chain. You can do either. Of course, you can add weight to these as well. If you're looking for something more explosive and athletic, you can try these low squat jump into a split hold. Great for athleticism and really mastering that balance as you get into the position. Also really crush the legs and build that explosive strength. Another way we can add strength and balance through the pattern is actually doing the pattern itself, getting our patent pending and doing a wall drill, just making sure we can control that position in our body while using proper form with our throw. Great little exercise I do in between sets sometimes. Moving back to the exercises, we have a front or back lunge with a band hold. I have a resistance band here that I'm holding in the exact same position, making sure my posture doesn't change and my arm position doesn't change as I'm doing my either front or my back lunge. Remember, the front lunge is going to help you out with your patent pending a little more. Back lunge is going to help the posterior chain a little bit more. But you can see it's a nice little challenge holding that band with resistance. This is great for challenging our core as well and improving our balance. So all these things that can help with our patent pending throw and just our overall power in general. And finally, if you're looking for a rotational activity through this exercise, we have our lunge. It's a wide lunge with a barbell twist here. This is great for really keeping our balance as we're rotating, which is one of the problems when we throw the patent pending, and maintaining our strength all the way through the pattern, which is also important to learn as we improve and get stronger within that position. Here's a little side look. Again, just getting our patent pending position, proper foot, 3 points on the front foot, 3 points on the four-toe on the back foot, and rotating through the position. This is also great for strengthening and improving the mobility of our T-spine, which is also important for building our power and our drive. Just kidding, gonna add a bonus exercise here that I forgot to film. This is a great exercise for balance and mobility in our T-spine and lower back, as well as managing our lower half as we're doing it. Just going to get in our split stance like we would with our patent pending. And we're going to lean back and forth, holding a PVC pipe over our head. Incredible drill. Really great for managing that T-spine mobility and mastering that balance. Something you're definitely going to need as you throw that patent pending shot. Okay, that's all I've got for today's episode. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. I'm almost at 3,000. Hopefully you found a couple of tips that helped you out in your patent pending game to save you some strokes. Let me know in the comments what your favorite is and what you'd like me to break down next. If you keep watching them, I'll keep making them. Until next time, peace.